Hello, my name is Isabella, and welcome to Kickflip. Spoilers ahead, I do not own any of the content. This is a quick synopsis of the movie Dorian Gray. When a naive young Dorian Gray arrives in late Victorian London, to inherit an estate left to him by way of his abusive grandfather, he is swept into a social whirlwind by way of the charismatic Lord Henry, or also known as Harry Wotton, who introduces Gray to the hedonistic pleasures of the city. Lord Henry's pal, society artist Basil Hallward, paints a portrait of Gray to capture the power of his younger beauty. When the portrait is unveiled, Gray makes a bargain. He would deliver anything to live as he's in the image, even his soul. Gray meets and falls in love with a beautiful young actress, Sybil Vane. After some weeks, he proposes marriage to her. Lord Henry tells Gray that having children is the beginning of the end, and after the two men go to a brothel, Gray leaves Sybil. Heartbroken, the young lady commits suicide through drowning. Gray learns of her dying the next day from her brother, James, who is also known as Jim, who shows that Sybil become pregnant with Gray's child. Enraged, Jim attempts to kill Gray before being restrained and carried off by the police. Gray's initial grief quickly disappears as Lord Henry persuades him that all events are mere experiences and without outcome. His hedonistic lifestyle worsens, distancing him from a worried Hallward. Gray returns home one evening to discover that Hallward's portrait of him has become real, and he soon realizes that his offhand pledge has come true. Even as the portrait ages, its owner's sins manifest as physical defects at the canvas. Before long, the curse imbued inside Gray's portrait begins in earnest, ensuing in Hallward's brutal killing after the artist reveals his secret. Gray dismembers and dumps Hallward's frame inside the River Thames, however the stays are quickly recovered and ultimately buried. Gray makes a decision to leave London to travel the world, and he invites Lord Henry to join him, however he declines, bringing up his spouse's pregnancy. After a 25-year absence, Gray stuns anyone at the welcoming celebration along with his unchanged younger appearance. He also meets and soon will become close to Lord Henry's daughter, Emily, a member of the UK suffragette movement, a whole lot to her father's disapproval. Although Gray appears genuinely interested about changing his ways as he spends time with Emily, situation got complicated as he is confronted by Jim, who keeps trying to find vengeance for his sister's demise. Despite Gray's attempts to deceive Jim by using his age and appearance, Jim nevertheless deduces his proper identification through the cigarette case, however is killed via an oncoming train whilst pursuing Gray in the London Underground. Meanwhile, as Gray makes preparations to leave London with Emily, Lord Henry's suspicions are showed when a look at vintage pictures triggers a memory where Gray had counseled that he will soul in return for eternal youth and beauty. Breaking into Gray's house, Lord Henry discovers the Hidden portrait, however is intercepted by way of Gray before he can discover it. As Gray tries to persuade him of the authenticity of his feelings for Emily, Lord Henry all of a sudden discovers Basil's blood-stained scarf in a box. This made Gray to claim that he's the personification of the life Lord Henry fantasies, however dared not pursue. Full of anger and grief, Gray tries to strangle him but is distracted via Emily's call long sufficient for Lord Henry to knock him and reveal the portrait. Disgusted and horrified at the twisted sight at the canvas, Lord Henry throws a lit lamp on the portrait, causing it to start to burn, and then locks the gate of the attic to make certain that Gray and the painting are destroyed. Emily pleads for the key to Gray, but Gray rather confesses his love for her and turns his back as Lord Henry carries his daughter out of the burning mansion. Resolving to end his struggling, Gray attacks the painting with a sword, causing his body to age unexpectedly, before the attic is consumed by fire. A few months later, following a futile try to reconcile with Emily, Lord Henry, along with his face partly burned, heads to his attic wherein he keeps the portrait of Gray because it changed into whilst Hallward painted it, grimly noting that nobody will see it. As Lord Henry leaves, the portrait's eyes glow, implying that Gray's restless essence still resides with the portrait. This is Isabella. I have another great story for you. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.